my name's Hannah. Thank you so much for interviewing with me today. Can you please state your name?
Yes, I'm Dawn.
Hello. So Miss Dawn, I just was going to ask you a few questions about buyer behavior for my business class. In this class, we were discussing finding an opportunity in business and coming up with a solution, to solve an unmet need of people in the marketplace. And so for my solution and opportunity that I took, I discovered that people need a part-time job solution and people also need fast services. So in this, I would be trying to tackle two positions at once. And in this manner, I've decided to come up with an app for a solution, and the app would provide part-time services, and it would provide fast job solutions for people that need extra cash but don't have the time to pick up a full-time, part-time job with a company that's not as flexible with their time.
Gotcha.
And so the idea behind this came from a clash between Uber's and Angie's List. I love Uber, but I don't like having people in the back of my car, so that hasn't worked out. And I like Angie's List, and I like the idea of, like, say, people compared this to like a pizza delivery service, but it wouldn't be a pizza delivery service because if you work for pizza delivery, you work underneath a company that is not as flexible with your hours as I think people need them to be. And so this basically is just identifying people's time and that it matters. And let's say like you needed a cup of coffee and you didn't have time to go get one, you could request somebody bring it to you. Or if you needed a gym buddy, you could request somebody to go with you to the gym for a few hours.
Nice.
It's just services app provider. So if I could just ask you some questions.
Okay.
Do you think that there is an unmet need in your life in which this would apply?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like this would be useful in your day-to-day life?
Absolutely.
Okay. From which aspect? The customer or a service provider?
Probably, well, honestly, from either perspective I can see, but right now I would think I would need probably the extra cash.
Yeah. So when in this context, do you believe that you would be using the app constantly, like maybe day to day, or would you probably try and use it like maybe once a week, or?
Probably about once or twice a week.
Okay. So, what would you, if you had this problem where you needed money fast and you needed like a quick service, what would you personally look for first? If you went into Google and you typed something up, what would you look for to solve this problem?
You mean if I was looking for a service, what would I be Googling?
Yeah, so let's say like the unmet need that we were talking about was the fast services and a non-permanent job solution. If you had those two needs, what would you type into Google per se? Like let's say you were looking for a solution to them.
Maybe like somebody to help me clean up before my home group came on Friday night or something right after work. You know, I'm so busy during the day. That would be really helpful.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, would you talk with your friends and family about this? Like how would you imagine trying to get this information that's outside of Google?
Sure. Well, that would make sense. It's just that I don't know that that would be far-reaching enough to be able to actually find somebody who could complete the task.
Okay. So what sources of information would you look for then in that case?
If I was talking to my family and friends, I would probably just see if they know anyone that lives in close proximity that would be able to help me at a reasonable price.
Okay. What sources of media do you feel would give you the opportunity to see this kind of solution to this problem? Like, let's see.
Well, I would think like the app would be good. That'd be a lot faster than having to log into my computer and all that stuff, waiting for it to warm up. And if it's just right there on my smartphone, I could just tap it and go.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So let's say, like from a marketing standpoint, what would be the fastest way to catch your eye to a solution like this?
Ooh, that's a
what
really
do you see on a daily basis?
Yeah, especially depending upon what your range of services is. That could be a little bit complicated, I would think. I don't know. As far as females, I would think like Pinterest or something as they're looking through cleaning ideas or party planning. You could pop it in there, but it just depends on probably which service you're focusing on. Yeah.
We were thinking about like TV or Facebook or whichever one.
Yeah.
Which do you think maybe?
I would think online, but I really don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see. In this section, we were talking about purchase decision. What would help convince you to either buy this app or do in-app purchases? Because I don't think the app would be a purchase. I don't feel like that would be correct to make somebody pay for an app where they're going to work for. I feel like this would be in-app purchases where you have to choose to purchase things. What would convince you to sign up for this app?
You would have to convince me that it would work, that there was a track record for it. So maybe, test it out and then get the kinks out and then roll it out. And if you could say, 5 out of 6 people were able to make a profit, or, just kind of tell me, and maybe the ease of the use of the app too would convince me. If it's too hard, I'm not going to have time to do it because I'm already busy.
Yeah.
So this would be like an added on job. But yeah, that would be great.
So let's say, from what you've told me, would you suggest maybe, doing a rating service? Like, we'd have people come and rate it specifically? Like, either we'd have the general public or we'd have let's say I go to UF, so we'd probably have like a UF School of Business or a UF School of Technology try it out first.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Would that help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
With some feedback, probably. Yeah.
And a lot of people were talking about this app. In my other interviews, we were discussing like how complicated the app was. I personally don't know anything about that, but I have friends that have talked to me about the process in building an app. And a lot of times they were talking about making categories specifically, and somebody had suggested maybe like making categories for the user that's providing services.
Oh yeah.
So like, let's say if you didn't feel comfortable house sitting, or in-home babysitting is a better word, or if you didn't feel comfortable grocery shopping, do you feel like that would be better, or do you feel like that's way too complicated for this idea?
No, I think that's the compartmentalizing things would make it easier to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, because some people like to customize it a little too in depth. So.
Well, you could try that in your rollout.
Exactly. So in looking for this kind of thing, how would you feel if you bought this app, or if you use this app? How would you feel this would affect your life in the after events? Does that make sense? Sorry, I haven't ordered that.
Absolutely. I think it would probably it would help me to earn the extra cash that I'm looking for some of the extra bills I've recently incurred.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it would be fulfilling as well. It's good to be able to pay off those debts and that kind of thing, and help people at the same time.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's see. In your day-to-day life, do you find like this would become a habitual thing with the app? Do you feel like an app would be a good idea, or do you think maybe we should move on to like a website, or should we do it in multiple different ways?
Well, it's interesting because I have an app that also has a link online for another use, and I do find that I use both because I can find a little bit more information on the website than I can on my app. So that just could be because I'm an older patron. So
well, that kind of links back to what we were talking about when information searching. So when you're looking for that solution, some people don't have cell phones. So like some older people that I know of, one of my grandmothers had only a computer and not a cell phone.
Yes.
And so a lot of times, like, you think about how they would come into play with that whole idea, or if we had like a cell phone service where you could call instead of using an app.
Probably depends on what demographic you're looking at targeting, but if you're targeting a wider demographic, then definitely you would want a website.
Okay.
Yeah, for that very reason. That's good thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there any other situation where you think that this would apply better to your life specifically?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff, because I happen to be an elementary school teacher, so I could use that with tutoring or referring people out for, I've got a lot of friends and they're always looking for things, so that would help meet a lot of needs. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think a good alternative for this solution would have been instead of an app? Do you have any other ideas maybe? What would you prefer? Like, if you had this kind of need and an app wasn't the first thing that popped into your head, what do you think would probably work best?
Boy, that's a tough one. I would probably have to Google it and then probably go to a brick and mortar kind of place, Yeah.
Do you have any ideas bouncing around maybe?
No, I really don't. Sorry about that, Miss Hannah.
That's okay. It's okay. So in this context and trying to find a different kind of solution, do you think the app would probably be the best even though you didn't have any ideas, do you feel like this would be like the
Well, I think the app or the website,
or the website.
Definitely in tandem. If you could do both in tandem, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay. And so just to recap what we talked about, to catch your eye, do you think maybe you would have to do marketing through television or billboards, or
Well, I think billboards definitely catch people's attention. People who are in a hurry, you know, if they're sitting on a
Exactly,
freeway
yeah.
trying to get home, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Maybe around college campuses, because you're going to find both a quick need and also a need for the money. So,
Exactly. All right. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for interviewing with me
thank
today.
you, Miss Hannah.